For the students at Bourofaye Christian School, school isn't just a place where they go to learn, it's far more than that. It's home, or at least it is for 235 days of the year. About 30 students from several countries eat, sleep, study and play here. Bourofaye Christian School is a boarding school catering primarily for WEC families with children aged 6 to 16. While the children are at Bourofaye, their parents are scattered throughout Senegal, the Gambia and Guinea-Bissau, carrying on the work God has called them to do. If it weren't for the school, many of these families would be forced to return to their home countries to ensure that their children receive an adequate education. While most of the school's pupils are boarders, there are several who live nearby with their parents and attend as day students.
We decided to send our children to Bourofaye because of several reasons. First is because the educational system here is so different that the children couldn't go on easily in Switzerland after. Second, there is quite a bit of Islamic influence in the school system as well. And thirdly, it's just the reason they wouldn't have this social aspect here as they have in Bourofaye. The school helps a lot that we can stay on the field, because when children are in school age and we don't see a good reason to teach them at home with private teacher or by myself, we would have to leave the field. And then the social part of the school down in Ziguinchor or Bourofaye, it's so important to the children.
In 1980, WEC moved its mission school from the Senegalese town of Ziguinchor, the regional capital of the Casamance province, to the present location of Bourofaye Christian School, just outside Ziguinchor and about 10 kilometres away from the Guinea-Bissau border.
The school's main aims and goals are to cultivate the children in every respect, spiritually, socially and academically. We teach the whole curriculum, but within the school programme we have religious education and a regular weekly assembly built in.
The school gives parents the peace of mind that while they may be hundreds of kilometres away from their children, they are well looked after and receiving a good education. Up until 1993, the school functioned mainly in English, but since then a German branch has been set up to meet the needs of the German-speaking families on the field. The curriculums used by the school ensure that students reach their full potential, both academically and practically.
On the English side, we use the English and Welsh national curriculum, but of course with the other nationalities we try and fit it into their nationalities as well. So of course we wouldn't just do British history, we'd make it broader and cover other countries too. The classes are small, which means that they can have more teacher contact, and I think particularly those children with special needs, it helps them.
The German branch bases its teaching on a Swiss curriculum which provides the German-speaking students with a high standard of education in their own language.
We hope that they will fit in very well when they go back to their home countries, to Switzerland as well as to Germany, because we follow the normal curriculum and we are accepted in Switzerland as a sort of a private school officially. That means we also use the normal certificates, these ones from our canton. So when they come home, it only says here on the top that they've been in Senegal, but that's all. All the marks and everything else is like we would do it in Switzerland.
At home, when you're a teacher, normally you have an own class, maybe with 20 to 30 pupils, and then you can make only one lesson. So here it's a big change because you have several different classes at the same time, but less children. And this is a big difference, and we had to learn how to handle that in the beginning.
The school aims to provide a well-rounded education for its students. The English library covers a range of topics, including fiction, reference books and Christian literature. The German branch is also building up a library for its students. Computers with up-to-date software helps BCS students to keep up with modern technology.
We find that children fit in well academically when they return home, and that seems to be regardless of whichever home base they go. In fact, sometimes we find that they're in advance of other children. They've done very well here.
As a boarding school, what happens outside the classroom is just as important as what happens inside it. Although they don't go home after school, homework and music practice are still part of the students' daily schedule, and both house parents and teachers supervise the children. The children are also responsible for weekly and daily chores like cleaning up after the evening meal and keeping their dormitories neat and tidy. Being away from their parents is not always easy for the children, and the school's house parents have a major responsibility of providing a secure Christian environment where the spiritual, social and emotional needs of the children can be met. The school also needs to prepare its students for the day when they leave Bourofaye and are forced to face the challenges of life outside the school.
Their spiritual needs are met through regular devotional times. Each morning we have devotions, and in the evening we have a quiet time with the children. We discuss with them what they have read for themselves, so that they can really learn to read the Bible independently.
Sport is a favourite activity for many of the students. A good-sized field, as well as volleyball and basketball courts, provide opportunities for the students to test and develop their physical skills, and also to learn about the importance of working together as a team. Other highlights include bike rides and excursions to the beach or local villages. Those children who know the local language can get to know their neighbours a little better, but for those who don't speak it, the language barrier doesn't stop them from playing football when the children from the village come to visit them.
The best thing about being here is the sports and the fun activities after school, and African friends that I can play with here.
School here is different than the one in Canada because we do a lot more sports, a lot more extra things after school, and you sleep here and eat here and live here. And you generally know the people a lot better than you do the ones in Canada.
Every Sunday, the children attend the school church where staff, teachers and students take turns in leading the program. During their free time, the children can also watch videos, play games or take part in some of the other fun activities regularly organised for them. As the children spend most of the year away from their parents, holidays are a special time for both the children and their parents. Families can spend time together one weekend each term and are reunited from 4 to 6 weeks between each term.
So far they've proved the two fellows home leaves we've had so far, they've just fitted back in as though they'd never been away. And they just loved it from the beginning. So.
Yeah, and we came out too with the idea that this is where they would be. And so right from the time when they were just a few months old, we came down for things like prayer days, and they got to know the place, they played around with the other children, they knew the staff, and they were always being prepared with the idea that this is where they would be coming.
Yeah.
I love it here. There's plenty of things to do. You make friends easily, and the life in the dorm's really good fun. School's good fun as well, because you get to know your teachers quite, personally, because there's only a few in the class.
I like the school because it's in the country, it's not near the town, and also it's quite near to Mum and Dad, so we can see them quite often.
In order for Bourofaye to uphold its academic standards and provide a secure and stable environment for its students, the school is in constant need of trained, experienced and spiritually mature workers. There is a need not only for teachers and house parents, but also for administration staff and people willing to help with the practical tasks such as maintenance, cooking or building.
We really need to see more full long-term staff coming. But there is a lot of space too for short-termers, who like to get field mission experience, and we are very thankful for all the people who came in the past, and we look forward to many more.
People who are willing to commit themselves to the school and its students long term are particularly important.
I feel that we need long-term house parents here for the main stability of the children, and emotionally really as well. When we came here at the beginning of last term, we had 19 children arriving and they didn't know us from anybody else, and we were all supposed to gel as a family. I think we've achieved that now, but for the children to have to go through this emotional upset really every 2 years, I think is too bad for them. I think that's the main prayer need we have here, is for long-term commitment from people who come out.
There are also challenging opportunities for short-term workers willing to serve the Lord at Bourofaye for 1 to 2 years. Their input in areas such as teaching, maintenance and administration is particularly appreciated. Many find that they grow spiritually and are stretched professionally during their time at the school. It's also excellent experience and preparation for those interested in serving God on the mission field for a longer term.
The resources that you'd normally have back at home are different, so you have to learn to be a bit more inventive yourself, I think, really, and because there aren't other teachers to talk to the same. There's a few, but not so many at all. So I've had to rely on God a lot more, I think, than back at home.
Bourofaye Christian School is also looking for people who are willing to pray for the school staff, the children and the missionary parents who can fulfill their ministry in the knowledge that their children are being educated in a secure, caring environment. The success of the school, and therefore the fields, can be dramatically influenced by the prayers of God's people. If you would like to know more about Bourofaye Christian School, contact BCS Coordinator, WEC International, Bourofaye Christian School, BP 726, Ziguinchor, Senegal, West Africa.